Hello lovelies, people from all over the world. This weekend is a meze weekend. Now there are celebrations around and I would like to tell you 10 of my and Turkish favorite mezes that you can make. First, let's start about making mezes. Mezes are things that you can make a day before or the same day. These ones are usually served cold, so you don't have to rush at the last minute when your guests are around. You prepare them, you put them on plates, they can stand out on the plate for 2, 3, 4 hours, they wouldn't get ruined, and they will even get better the next day. From potato salad to pasta salad, from Muhammara to hummus to fava, I'm going to take you to a beautiful journey. And the recipes are actually below and you can find all the recipes in detail, but in this video I want to take you all around so you'll get an idea of what these different kinds of mezes can do for you. And usually some of them are naturally vegan, all of them are vegetarian, and they are mind-blowingly tasty. Let's start with fava. Actually, we call the fava beans, but this is like a paste. And I believe the world hasn't discovered fava as much as it needs. Like how hummus is really famous, fava can at least go to 80% of the fame it has. But to make that fava really perfect, I want to take you step by step. We need 400 grams of dried fava beans. You can make them from fresh, but in this season, dried ones go really good. We rinse off the dust out of them and then put it in a pot or a pressure cooker. I'm going to tell you both. First, without any pressure cooker, put them in a pot, put some drinkable water. On top, you have to pass it about 3 fingers long, we say. We need a lot of water because the fava beans are gonna soak the water. If it's a pressure cooker, you can put a little less. 2 onions, chopped onions in big chunks and put them in. They are gonna cook until the fava beans soak all the water and they get so soft that they can become a puree. About 80 to 100 milliliters of nice soft olive oil. Some salt, a bit of sugar balances the taste. Put it into a hand blender. Blend it until it is incredibly soft. The fava beans, similar to lentils, when it gets cold, it gets thickened. So it's going to almost become something like a tofu. Not as maybe as strong, but close to it. But now it's very runny, but don't get fooled by it. We are gonna put it in a container. It will get the shape of the container. Put some olive oil and make sure that all the sides get the share of the olive oil and then pour the mixture in. Let it come to its room temperature in the room. Then put it into the refrigerator and let it cool at least 4 more hours. Overnight, it's even better. So fava will get cold, quite stiff. With the back of a knife, separate the side of the plate from the fava. That's all we need, and shake it a bit, not too hard. Put a plate, something straight or a tray, and then turn it. You're gonna get the shape that you poured in. It could be a like long tray. You can cut diamonds or squares, or it can be a sculpture like one big fava. On top, some olive oil and some dill. Fava beans go really well with dill, and I believe when you put quite a lot of olive oil and when it gets cold, it gives you a feeling almost like avocado. I get the satisfaction of the avocado from favas. This is the first recipe.
You use it like a spread.
In a meze table, you eat it plain like that. Some people eat it with onions. But for example, the next day when I'm home and I find fava at home, great. I take a piece of bread, use it like a spread, and it becomes gorgeous. Secondly, we have our yogurt mezes on the channel. We have versions of this, from beetroot to carrots and to different kinds of cabbage, etc. You can combine yogurt with those and come up with great recipes. One of the most famous ones is Carrort Tarator, we call it. We grind the carrots with a little bit of garlic. We fry them for 3-4 minutes and then we let it cool for a while. On the side, whisk the yogurt a bit, add a bit of salt, a bit of maybe black pepper if you like. While it's not too cold but not too hot as well, mix the carrots and the garlicky carrot with the yogurt and drizzle some olive oil on top. Kind of warm carrot soaks the extra water of the yogurt and they become one and they become tasty and tastier and tastier and becomes gorgeous. You can, if you want, add a bit of mayonnaise. Some people do it that way in Turkey. That's also nice, but we don't need that extra calorie, I believe. So that's great like that. Very simple and incredibly tasty. Third one is one of my childhood's memory dishes, and it is pasta salad. The more westernized parts of my family, Münevver yenge, Neylan teyze, when we go to their house for New Year celebrations, they would usually make a pasta salad, and I wouldn't understand. When I was a small child, it was something quite new for me. As I grew up, remembering all those, I wanted to take the pasta salad to a new level, a Turkish way, and also a very flamboyant one as well. How do we do that? We color the pasta first. I want to make it yellow. I like the colors you're gonna see through the video. We're gonna get orange, purple, green, yellow. So those colors are gonna be a nice celebration. Some of them are gonna be quite bright. This one becomes a bright yellow. How do you make that? To the pasta's water, we put some fresh turmeric and dry turmeric together, and it's gonna color the water, and it's going to increase the taste of the water as well. Then we put the pasta in, we're gonna let it cook and then let it cool. Then we put some olive oil. It's gonna soak that olive oil and increase the taste. We're gonna chop nice good white cheese, beyaz peynir. Some parts around the world you cannot find beyaz peynir, you're gonna find feta probably. You can use a nice feta cheese or any cheese that's gonna give you a fresh feeling, but at the same time do not melt when it's hot. Beyaz peynir is famous for that. Toss it a bit, then add coriander and some nigella. Black olives. Black olives are high in umami. Beyaz peynir, cheese is there as well. The nice colors are gonna be quite good. So a bit of carbohydrate and a bit of cheese goes incredibly well. Great recipe. Hope you'll enjoy it. Another recipe is kidney beans. When it becomes an olive oil dish, it becomes this gorgeous barbunya, and it's quite simple to make. It's a technique. We have this olive oil technique, very simple. We fry the onion, put some carrots, then we add the garlic, grind the tomatoes and put it in, some salt, sugar, olive oil, a bit of water, and then we add the beans in. The sugar and the salt comes together, that's almost a must to balance the tomatoes' taste. Sometimes I also add vinegar, for example this is winter, so we don't have like great tomatoes, so 2 or 3 tomatoes. Water needs to be balanced with something else. That vinegar works there really well. Together they're gonna simmer. If it's a pressure cooker, it's going to be in 10 minutes. Then we take it out, we let it cool, we put some fresh olive oil on top and eat it that way. You might not find kidney beans, you can use purple beans, black beans, even white beans as well. This becomes like a very subtle taste, but that subtle taste goes really well when you eat meat, you have like some kind of pilav. The gorgeousness comes from its simplicity. If you haven't eaten barbunya when you come to Turkey, you should definitely try and see what I am talking about, or you can do it at your homes if you like. At this point of the video, I would like to learn how you used to spend your New Year's and Christmas with your families or loved ones and how it has changed. If you have those observations that you want to share, I would love to hear them, because you know, sometimes I personally feel stuck about my own memories and what I go through, but then when other people share it, you understand that usually you're not alone. What you're looking for, even on the other side of the world, is quite similar. So that, I think, brings an incredibly different feeling that warms your soul. So another recipe is Girit Ezmesi, a mind-blowing one actually, and this comes from Croatia island. The Ottoman Empire was all through the Greece and the islands, etc, etc, and at some time some people brought with their families some of the dishes, and this is one of those. And the beautiful thing about this Girit Ezmesi is it's a spread that you can put it in a jar and put it in your refrigerator and eat for a week or 2, and it's gonna be gorgeous. It's actually a relative of pesto sauce in a way, but I'll tell you how it's different as well. We take the basil, some olive oil and 2 cloves of garlic together in a processor. We process it and make it a puree. Why do we just put all those 3 things together? Because when basil's leaf are hit by a knife, it starts to turn into black or brown, but olive oil prevents it. Then we add 3 handfuls of bozic, which is the green pistachios. We grind that as well, make it in small chunks. Then we put some olive oil, black pepper, and put beyaz peynir, which is white cheese. You can use a different kind of cheese as well and make it a paste. When you first eat it, it's quite good. You get the taste of the black pepper on the side, and then on the other side, the garlic and some olive basil. But when it sits for at least 6 to 8 hours, the tastes merge together. The olive oil transfers all the taste to one another and becomes a gorgeous, gorgeous, mind-blowing thing. And you can use it as a spread, you can eat it alone, you can use it with your chips, whatever you like. It becomes, again, mind-blowing. Usually when I walk or go to a holiday place or something, at least 1 or 2 people would come to me and say, I like your Girit ezme because it's a little different from other people and I haven't eaten anything in my life that good.
Yes,
so
I'm
that's
one
that
of
kind.
them.
Bahar is one of them. So yeah, that's that kind of a taste. A nice meze party cannot be without what? Potato salad. So we can have a more traditional potato salad, but I wanted to give you mine. It's together with purple cabbage. How do we do that? If you have a pressure cooker, it's going to be again like a 15-minute meal to make. Chop the potatoes and put half a cup of water in and a bit of salt. In 10 minutes, the potatoes are going to be cooked. But what's beautiful is we don't cover the whole potatoes with water. It gets cooked with the steam and it doesn't give it starch and all the extra taste that the potato has to the water, keeps it inside. The beautiful thing about this is this beautiful sauce. I'm going to tell you how we do it. About 15 tablespoons of olive oil, which is about 140 milliliters of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, 1 tablespoon of mustard with mustard seeds. It works differently, so it's quite good together. 2 tablespoons of mustard, freshly grinded black pepper, a teaspoon of pul biber, which is red flaked pepper, a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and some salt. So we have this great tasting sauce, which is oily, etc. On the other hand, we have our potatoes. Take it out. The first time we take the potatoes out, what happens, because it's really hot, the extra water starts to evaporate, leaving the pores of the potatoes open. The first 1.5 minutes, we want to take it out because also it was in the pressure cooker, the temperature was too high. And we let all the water to evaporate. Then, before it gets cooled down, we combine it with that beautiful sauce because there's like free space from the evaporated water. It soaks the sauce as deep as possible. So this is a small thing. If, let's say, we took the potatoes out, let it cool, and then mix with the sauce, it would be just on the surface of the sauce, and we don't want that. We want it to soak it, so this way you increase the taste at least 5 times. They have to get cooled down, and on the side we finely chop the purple cabbage and with a bit of salt, soften it a bit, and some spring onions. When the potatoes are almost cool, combine them together, we get this purple cabbage, spring onion taste, and incredibly tasty potato salad is gonna be ready. Then comes the hummus, and hummus, I won't be humble, my hummus is great and you're gonna make it in 10 minutes again. So easy, so incredibly tasty. What makes the hummus great? Number 1, you have to take the skins off the chickpeas. You don't need the hustle of boiling the chickpeas. Get canned ones, boiled ones, really good. Take the alfalfa away. You put the chickpeas in a bowl. If there's a bowl that you can, like a rice cleaning bowl or something, on the side, if the water can pour, that's something we want. Put it under running water. Rub the chickpeas. The skins will come out because on the running water, it's gonna float. And if water is pouring on one side without the chickpeas dropping, that's gorgeous. You're gonna get all the skins of the chickpeas collected in a minute. Otherwise, you have to work one. That's a nightmare. You don't need that. If you don't have a cup like that, you can use a sieve on the side and do it similarly. It's gonna take maybe 1 more minute maximum. Take the skins out. You don't have to be meticulous and take all the skins. All the hummus that you eat outside, usually they are skin on, but this one is going to be 10 times better than what you eat outside. Anyways, then put the chickpeas into the processor. Then we put 2 cloves of garlic, some salt, the tahini, olive oil, juice of a lemon, and one by one add the ice cubes. Ice cubes prevent the hummus from getting hot and lemon changing taste. For 10 minutes, we let the processor work and it becomes this silky smooth, gorgeous hummus that you're gonna adore. If you cannot find a nice tahini anywhere, on this channel I have a recipe of how to make the tahini. You can go there, it's also very nice. So we make the hummus, we put it on a nice plate. You can make a hole in the middle if you like, some olive oil, some cumin and sumac, goes really well, and it becomes very, very tasty. Another recipe that I would like to share is an olive oil dish, but this one is not from Turkey, this one is from Cyprus. The island's olive oil dishes are quite different than the ones in Turkey. They are more simple, so I wanted to include a very simple recipe. Boil the black-eyed peas, change water once, and take this black water out, and then boil it. When it's almost finishing, add a bit of salt so that the taste increases, and then take it out in a sieve and then add olive oil, some salt, lemon juice, a bit of garlic, and that's it. If you like a bit of vinegary, you can add a bit of vinegar, but very simple, and it becomes gorgeous. You can add a bit of cabbage if you like to the black eyed peas. You can use the dried ones, you can use the fresh ones. Fresh ones would be hard to find right now. So black eyed peas, dried black eyed peas becomes a very gorgeous looking dish. Again, 2 minutes of effort maximum. Okay, there's cooking time, but the effort is that little. Then we have this beautiful green and pink dish, and it's from the beetroot, and it's quite simple again to make. How do you make that? Chop some onion, and with a bit of olive oil, brown it a bit. Then we grate 3 beetroots and put them in as well on the pan, stirring them 4 to 5 minutes. But then we add a bit of salt, and then we crush the garlic on the cutting board and mix it together. Add a tablespoon of honey. Honey increases the taste mind-blowingly. I cannot still grasp it how it works so well. And then turn the heat off from the pan and let it cool for 3 to 4 minutes. And on the side, 6 tablespoons of yogurt, whisk it well, and when it's cooling, mix it together with some rockets, if you have pomegranate molasses, and a bit of olive oil to the rockets, and put the mixture in the middle. So
yummy!
So yummy. It looks like 5 yummy, it tastes 10 yummy. So good. And finally, this one is called Muhammara. It's very popular in Turkey. It's like, again, a paste similar to Girit, ezme, similar to pesto. This one is almost like an umami bomb. How do we make it? 3 handful of walnuts, we put it in the grinder. We take the inside of like a 3 pieces of stale bread and 2 garlic, a bit of cumin, 3 tablespoons of tomato, and 3 tablespoons of pepper paste. And then grind them a little bit. Then add fresh lemon juice, mix them well, and this classically, that's what muhammara is. But what I also like, when there's pepper and tomato paste involved in any food, I like increasing the taste by adding some ginger. Grate some ginger, take the water of the ginger and add it to this mixture. As I said, it's not traditional way, but you're gonna see how that pepper paste taste gets opened and you get more in your mouth as a great taste. This is muhammara. When you look at it, what it is, it's just bread and some garlic and tomatoes and some walnuts, but actually, as you can see, all of them are really high on umami, so it's like an umami bomb. When you eat it with some köftes, meatballs, or anything that you want to eat, it will increase the taste of everything you eat it together with. This was a journey of different Turkish mezes. The dolma, I'm sure some Turkish people who are gonna watch this video say, you didn't tell about this. A meze table cannot be like without a dolma. Dolma is something great. I'm going to put one recipe on here. It would be too long. I wanted to include simple ones here. So hope you're gonna move to the new year with hopes, with your loved ones, and with good news. The world, together with AI, together with so many things happening, so many weird leaders, bromanship in every kind of sector going crazy, we feel a bit lost. I feel a bit lost. I don't know, maybe it's the new year time. I always have this feeling that somehow the good in life works slowly, acts slowly, but if you don't separate yourself from the goodness and the clean will inside, it will win over time. And I believe this year, even though everyone is saying it's going to be like this and that, hope the good in us will win and the good in the world will win. Take great care.